Hi, I'm making this quick video from Boise, Idaho, the potato gun capital of the world. But before we get started, I've got a story I want to tell you. Now this story is a little bit embarrassing and a little funny, and if you ever wanted to make your own potato gun, it should be a lot of fun for you. Now it all starts one day with one of my close friends named Russell. Now Russell was a typical guy. He wanted a real done-for-you solution for building a potato gun. At first, he spent money online buying kits that promised the world, but just gave him wimpy little guns that barely shot 50 yards. He tried everything. He bought a bunch of tricked out parts on the internet, joined every potato gun forum and message board online. He lived and breathed spud guns for months on end. And yet, he struggled to ever make a gun that would actually let him compete with his friends. No matter how hard he tried, their guns always seemed better, shot further, and were just plain cooler than his. Kinda embarrassing, don't you think? In fact, when you live in the potato gun capital of the world, it's really embarrassing. After one shot, the guys would just pat him on the back. After 10 shots, they would laugh hysterically at him. It drove him insane. Every time he'd go shooting, he never knew what to expect. All his buddies told him that if he used this kind of propellant or that kind of barrel, then his gun would finally make him proud. He tried tips, he bought the stuff they suggested, put it all together, but no dice. That's when Russell accidentally bumped into me one day, and the days of his potato gun mediocrity finally came to an end. Now, you may never notice me at a typical spud gun competition, but I'm there. Outside of a few of the key players in the spud gun game, I'm not really a household name. I rarely appear in public on the online forums, and I never reveal my secrets beyond a circle of the spud gun elite. I've got tons of simple tweaks that can take any gun and instantly make it a winner. For example, did you know that the correct barrel to chamber ratio is essential for shooting your gun? Making the barrel too long or the chamber too small can cause one of two problems. First, your fuel runs out before the potato leaves your chamber and it either gets lodged in your barrel or falls out about 2 feet in front of your gun. Very embarrassing. Or second, your potato leaves the barrel before you've burned up all the fuel and you lose accuracy, distance, and speed. Now, some other big mistakes that people are making is they're using the wrong fuels. In fact, most people, including Russell, were using the absolute worst fuel you could use. And I see people use this type of fuel all the time, and I laugh my tail off when they're spending most of their Saturday morning cleaning the crap out of their combustion chambers, while the rest of us are out shooting up a storm. And what most don't even think about is the type and the amount of glue that you use to put the whole shebang together. If you use the wrong glue or the wrong amount of glue, then your gun will leak like a strainer. So when I'm not working with spud gun competitors, I'm spending time inventing new guns that can shoot potatoes a country mile every time. It's pretty exciting. Just imagine spud guns that sound as powerful as a 20 gauge shotgun. When you build these types of guns, your inconsistent shots disappear forever. It all seems like magic, but it's not magic at all. You see, after you learn and master how to build your next potato gun the right way, you will avoid being humiliated when shooting it. And trust me, your pals will not let you forget it. Now, once you have a gun you can count on and a few secrets, you're going to be blasting spuds with the best of them. Now, my name is Nate Plone, and I've been called a spud gun genius here in Boise, Idaho. And that's saying a lot, seeing as I do live in the potato gun capital of the free world. Now, I've built potato guns that make competition spud gunners jealous. I've shared potato gun secrets that help new spud gunners get bragging rights with their buddies. Now, I know you probably have never heard of me, and until one of my students ripped me off, I was pretty content to just stay in the background with my small group of friends and potato gun experts. Virtually all of the top spud gunners in the country use my secrets. They know that along with a properly built gun, the right propellant, and knowing a few tricks of the trade makes all the difference. Now, never before has anyone spilled the beans and revealed the mega effective spud gun secrets of the pros until right now. For example, in many spud gun forums, the so-called experts, who are probably just 12-year-old kids, usually tell you that starting fluid is the best propellant. Now, if you've ever shot a gun using starting fluid, then you and I both know that's a bunch of BS. 9 times out of 10, you'll just flood your combustion chamber and fail to launch your potato. You may have also read that hairspray makes the best propellant. Well, it's okay, but if you want to shoot your spud up to 50 yards further, yes, an additional 50 yards every time, there are other fuels you need to test out. Now, all the best spud gunners in the world use this trick, yet very few beginners know about it. And some of them launch their potatoes up to a fourth of a mile or more every single time. Now, even though some spud gun sites will tell you part of the truth, you're probably dazed and confused because you've read myths about propellants from crap sites and don't know who to believe, or for that matter, whose hands to put the safety of you and your family in. Like I said, before now, I've never shared the real secrets online, until one of my students stole my system and started actually selling it on the internet. Now, although most people who compete in competitive spud gun contests that hire me only get a chance to meet with me once, This student, I'm actually going to call him the Spud Gun Bandit, and I am hiding his real name, and I'll tell you why later. He became a repeat customer of mine, and at $50 a session, I was game. I showed him my special combustion chamber ratios, and his guns became the envy of every serious competitor. I shared with him my secrets for ignition systems and barrels, and his inconsistency immediately faded away. In fact, he became somewhat famous in the Spud Gun underground, and I was fine with that. All in all, he saw me about a dozen times and even sent me a few referrals. Man, I was making bank off this guy. But then it all went away in an instant. One day, he said he decided to take all the hours of one-on-one instruction I personally given him and create a tell-all, teach-all, knockoff version of everything that he learned from me. He said that his material was better organized, more professional, and his plans were cooler looking, so even more people could build their own spud guns successfully and easily. Now, at first, I thought he was kidding, but I found out later that he was as serious as a heart attack. Yes, the Spud Gun Bandit was dead serious. He worked on this new project like a meth head on a mission, but he did it behind my back. Now, as I learned later, he spent almost a full year reviewing all the notes of every spud gun session he had with me. He'd taken apart the guns he'd made with my help and my plans, and had a professional draftsman create blueprints. He took my notes, he called my closest spud gun pals, and milked them for information. He even restructured my best guns and made a bunch of fancy videos of them firing. He quite honestly raided my brain and spit out all of my breakthroughs and put his name on them. And then he dropped the bombshell. Look, I didn't start making potato guns to get rich, but it's a nice little side business for me. So it sickened me when he told me that he'd be pimping out my secrets online for only $99 and not even giving me credit. In fact, that made me as mad as a hornet. Yet, in a funny way, I kind of admired him for the ingenuity and resourcefulness of what he'd done. Then I got my hands on his product, and I even paid for the dang thing. Now, it was decent, though not nearly what he had hyped it up to be. Now, over the next few weeks, though, it really started to sink in. This creep had actually stolen from me. So I called my brother-in-law, who is a lawyer. Now, I don't generally like lawyers, but I needed help, and at least I was lucky enough to have one attorney in the family. I was getting a little concerned that this jerk's product could seriously undermine my own little business. So my cousin wrote up a nastygram, and of course the Spud Gun Bandit's lawyer responded, not surprising me since he always bragged he was loaded. And then, out of the blue, the Spud Gun Bandit called me a couple weeks later, and we went toe-to-toe on the phone, even though my lawyer cousin kind of warned me not to. Now, I'll leave out all the grisly details, but let's just say that I persuaded him to quit selling his Spud Gun product and give the rights back to me. Of course, I agreed not to disclose his name as part of the deal. So naturally, I wasn't going to sell his copycat info. A guy's got some pride after all. So I decided to do it upright, and I wanted to take everything up a notch, because after all, this time I was putting my name on it.